Hello and welcome to the third video from the Halfling Project. Today we are releasing 10 new Warscrolls, and they are all with version 0.2. We are releasing the Hismestautod Warscroll, the Halfling Elder, your generic general, Gabo Flugbend, Sheriff with Army Standard, and Halfling Militia, the core units, Vigilante Guards, Field Wardens, Hobbilars, and Halfling Rangers and Housewives. So first up is the Elder, the Prime Elder of the Halflings, Hismestautod. He is the born leader of the Halflings, and his stats are 5-inch movement. He has a 4+ save, 8 bravery, and wounds 6. He can be armed with his magical sword, the Foe Slayer, with 1-inch range, 4 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4+ to wound, -1 rend, and 2 damage. He can also be armed with a bow, that is an ordinary bow with 16 inches range, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, and damage 1. He can be mounted on a pony if you wish, and the pony can attack 1 inch range, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, and damage 1. If Hisme is mounted on a pony, he can that will increase his movement to 7 inches. Okay, so what about his abilities? Short and nimble. That is an ability you'll see on many of the different unit types. The halflings, they are small and nimble. They can easily avoid incoming blows during the combat phase. So enemies striking with melee weapons must re-roll all successful hits. But if Hismestautod is mounted on a pony, he cannot use the short and nimble ability. Furthermore, Hismestautod has the Buckler of the Red Rooster, and that is a shield, and it lets him ignore the first suffered hit each combat phase. So let's move up again to the Brooch of Stoutheart. That is a talisman. This will on a 5+ roll, it will allow Hisme to ignore the first suffered wound or a mortal wound during each combat phase. Hisme's Book of Sage is an ability where Hisme, during at the beginning of the game, he can roll a d6, and if he roll a 1 or a 2, he can choose one unit who may re-roll all ones, all the rolls of 1 during the to-hit rolls with missile weapons. Or he can choose one unit who may re-roll all ones in close combat if he rolls a 3 or 4. If he rolls a 5 or 6, he can select one unit who will gain 1+ bravery. Moving on to the command abilities. Remember the Moot is a 1-use only ability. He can, during the hero phase, shout out, "Remember the Moot," and all soldiers within 18 inches will hear him. And they will gain, until the next hero phase, +1 attacks, +1 to hit rolls and +1 to wound, and -1 rend with all missile and melee weapons. He also have the Elder's Wisdom ability. In the hero phase, he can choose one halfling unit within 12 inches, and this unit will gain 1+ to hit and 1+ to wound until the next hero phase. And the keywords. Halflings, they are an army of order. Halfling, free people, hero, elder, and Hismestautot. Moving on to the Halfling Elder. The Halfling Elder is a generic general, and he has the 5-inch move. He has a 4+ save, 7 bravery, and 5 wounds. He can be mounted on a pony, if you wish, and this will increase his movement to 7 inches. He can be armed with a sword. He's always armed with a sword, and the sword has a 1-inch range, 3 attacks, 4+4+ to hit and to wound, no rend, and damage 1. He may also take a bow, and the bow has 16-inch range, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, and 1 damage. He may take a shield. The pony, as usual, 1-inch range, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 5+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. Abilities. He is short and nimble, unless he is mounted on a pony. So the enemy must re-roll all successful to hit rolls. The Halfling Shield. The units equipped with the shield can re-roll all save rolls of 1. And furthermore, he has 1 command ability, the same as Hisma, the Elder's Wisdom, and where the Elder may choose 1 halfling unit within 12 inches, and that unit will gain 1+ to hit and 1+ to wound until your next hero phase. And the keywords: order, halfling, free people, hero, and elder. Gabo Flugbend, he is an adventurer. He is an expert at beast hunting, and he is mounted on his Pegasus, Greywing. He is equipped with his hunting spear and may take a bow. He can move 18 inches. He has a 4+ save, he has 8 bravery and 6 wounds. The hunting spear is a magical hunting spear, and he has a 2-inch range, 4 attacks, 3+ to hit, 4+ to wound, 1 rend, and 1 damage. The bow is a standard bow, 16 inches, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. Greywing, he has 1-inch range. He has 2 attacks, hit on 4+, wound on 4+, no rend, and 1 damage. His abilities. He has the Elven Way Cloak, which will give -1 penalty to all enemy attacks with missile and melee weapons, and -1 penalty to their hit rolls against Gabo. He also has the Animal Trap ability, and when he's fighting models with the monster keyword, Gabo may throw down some animal clamps to the creature's legs, and this will slow them. And this enables Gabo to always make 3 extra attacks when fighting against monster models. The next ability is the Mesh Net. At the beginning of each combat phase, Gabo may attempt to throw a net on one enemy. The enemy model may throw a dice. On the roll of 3+, the enemy model is netted. and if and the model will be completely disabled and cannot do anything unless it's a hero or monster model, and they can still fight, but they can only hit Gabo on 6+. Also, it cannot move, charge while it's netted. But the netted model can try to escape, and during the next hero phase, the enemy may try to escape. On the roll of 5+, it will escape. Otherwise, it remains netted until the next hero phase, when it can try again to be released. A netted model may not be removed as a casualty if there are other models in the unit still alive. The unit may move away from the netted model, but then you have to remove the netted model as a casualty. If a unit consists of only netted model, they must all be removed as casualties. Gabo may not try to net models with the keyword War Machine. He also have the Gromril shirt, which gives Gabo some resistance to magic. If Gabo is targeted by a spell, he may roll a 5 or a 6, in which the spell has no effect on Gabo, but it will affect other units as usual. The keywords: Order, Halfling, Free People, Hero, and Gabo Flugband. Right, moving on to the Sheriff. He is your army standard bearer. He may be mounted on a pony, which will give him 7-inch movement, and he will get the pony attack as well. Otherwise, if you do not mount him on a pony, he can only move 5-inch. He has a 4+ save, 7 bravery, and 5 wounds. He can be equipped with a sword and a bow. The sword, 1-inch range, 3 attacks, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, 1 damage. The bow, 16 inches, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, and 1 damage. And the pony, as usual, 1 inch, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, and 1 damage. He has one ability, and this is connected to the banner of the Halflings. It is a magical banner, and it gives courage to all Halflings within 8 inches. And none of these units will have to take a battle shock test. In your hero phase, you can declare that the Sheriff will hold the battle standard high. If you do, you may not move until the next hero phase, but you will gain a couple of abilities. All Halflings within 10 inch can re-roll all fail to wound rolls. All Halfling units within 10 inches will also gain a 4+ save against forces from the Death, Chaos, or Destruction armies. And the keywords: Order, Halfling, Free People, Hero, Totem, and Sheriff.
So, next up is the Halfling Militia. It's quite normal, light infantry, 1 wound, movement is 5 inches, no save, and 4 in bravery. So it's a quite bad infantryman if you look at them one-on-one. They do have a bow with a 16-inch range, 1 attack, 4+, 5+, and 1 in damage. So it's quite normal, and they have some trouble wounding the enemy. But they are quite good at hitting them. In melee, they have sword and shield, or they take a spear, and that's quite standard as well. The sword is 5+5+1 damage. The spear is range 2, and that's the big plus with that, as well as the 4+2 wound. They have a constable who makes 2 attacks instead of 1 with his melee weapon, and they have the usual command group for the halflings, which is a standard bearer, which gives +1 bravery, and a musician that will make the unit will be able to hide and take cover from the enemy, which will increase their save, which they will rely on a lot. So to abilities, they have the abilities short and nimble, which come again on lots of units in the halfling army, and basically the enemy has to re-roll all successful to hit rolls, and that's a part of the militia. The militia's place in the army is to hold the line, be able to survive, and this is an ability that helps them. Then they also have the halfling ranks, and it's unique for the militia. They simply get a better save the more they are, and that illustrates the horde of militia bouncing around and not really. It's hard to pick one of the halflings that you are going to kill if you are the enemy. So it's quite hard. There are like halflings everywhere, and they're bouncing around. And if they take a sword, they can also take a halfling shield that has a normal shield effect. They get to re-roll all save rolls of 1. But that will not be useful unless you have a save at all, because normally you do not have one. But if you're hiding, or if you have 20 or more models, then you will have save, and then the halfling shield will be good. And the keywords, they are order, halfling, free people, and halfling militia.
Right, moving on to the Vigilante Guard. The Vigilante Guard is a core unit. They are the only units trained at war in the halfling army. They have the 5 inches move, the 6+ save, 5 bravery, and 1 wound. The Vigilante Guard has 10 or more models. They may be equipped with a spear, and they may also take a shield and a bow. Instead of a spear, they can take a halberd if they want to. The bow, 16 inches, 1 attack, 4+5+, no rend, 1 damage. The spear, 2 inches, 1 attack, 4+4+, and no rend and 1 damage. And the halberd, 1 inch, 1 attack, 4+4+, -1 rend and 1 damage. The leader of the unit is a deputy. He may make 2 attacks with all weapons, both missile and melee weapons. The standard bearer will give the unit +1 bravery, and the musician will you may take cover, and this will give the unit +1 save, but you cannot move or charge until your next hero phase. The Vigilante Guard have 2 abilities. The Halfling Shield, if the unit brings shields to the battlefield, which you can re-roll all save rolls of 1. Furthermore, they have the Hedgehog, which will only work if they are equipped with spears. If they are not already in combat, and if you're charged by an enemy, the unit may reform into the shape of a hedgehog. and this will give the unit a 4+ save during the first combat phase, but only against melee weapons. The keywords: Order, Halfling, Free People, and Vigilante Guard. So, moving on to the Field Wardens. The Field Wardens are the patrol forces, and they have special abilities against enemy units with the death keyword. A normal Field Warden unit has 10 or more models, and they are always equipped with a sword and a sling. They move 5 inches, they have a 6+ save, 4 bravery, and 1 wound. The sling has a 10-inch range, 2 attacks, 4+ to hit, 5+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. And the sword, 1 inch, 1 attack, 5+ to hit, 5+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. The command group, the leader is a marshal, and he makes 2 attacks instead of 1 with all weapons. And the standard bearer and the musician are like the vigilante guard and the militia characters. The abilities: they have the short and nimble, and they have the undead slingshot. And the undead slingshot will boost their slingshots when they are used against the death armies. Slingshots will hit on 4+ and wound on 3+, and with damage D3. The keywords: Order, Halfling, Free People, and Field Wardens. So now the Hobblars. The Hobblars are ordinary farmers mounted on ponies. Halflings are not made to ride ponies, so this is a rather special unit, and it's been quite difficult to write the Warscroll for this unit. But they are mounted on ponies. They have a 7-inch range. They have a 6+ save, 4 bravery, and 2 wounds. Unit of Hobblars have 5 or more models, and they are equipped with a sword and bow or a spear, and they may take a shield. The bow is a standard bow, 16 inches range, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, 1 damage. If they choose a spear, the spear have 2-inch range, 1 attack, 5+ to hit, 4+ to wound, -1 rend, and 1 damage. The sword, 1 inch, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 5+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. And the pony, 1 inch, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 5+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. So, the command group. We have 1 road warden, the leader, and he can make 2 attacks instead of 1. The standard bearer, make sure that the unit will not have to take a battle shock test unless 2 or more models die during the same combat phase. And then we have the musician. If the unit includes a musician, it may run and then charge. More about this in just a second. The abilities. We have the oomph ability. Whenever a unit of Hobblars charge or run and roll at least 1, all models in the unit must take the oomph test. The oomph test, you roll 1 die for each of the models in the unit. On the roll of 1 or 2, the rider has lost his balance and fallen off the pony. The pony itself rushes across the field towards the closest enemy unit, causing D2 mortal wounds. And then you remove the Hobblar as a casualty. If we just take a quick look at the musician, you may run and then charge. If you do that, you need to take 2 oomph tests. The next ability, Home Before Lunchtime. Once during the battle in the hero phase, the unit can attempt to win the fight, to be home before lunchtime. When the Hobblarks use this ability, you can re-roll all 2-hit rolls for them until the next hero phase. 1 use only. And then the Halfling Shield. If they are equipped with the shield, you may re-roll all save rolls of 1. The keywords: Order, Halfling, Free People, and Hobblar. Now the Halfling Rangers. The Halfling Rangers are the best bowmen in the Halfling army. A unit of Halfling Rangers have 5 or more models. They are equipped with the sword, and they may take the Ranger's bow. They have 5-inch move, 5+ save, bravery 6, and 1 wound. The Ranger's bow, with a 16-inch range, 1 attack, 3+ to hit, 5+ to wound, -1 rend, and 1 damage. The sword, 1-inch range, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. The command group. The leader of the unit is Tracker, and he may make 2 attacks with the bow, with the ranger bow, not with the sword. Musician. There may be a musician in the group, and he will give the ability to hide to the unit, and the unit then gains +1 save, but it cannot move or charge until your next hero phase. The abilities: Short and Nimble, and the Scout Advance. And the Scout Advance will give the Halfling Rangers the ability to hide at the start of the game. And during any of the movement phases, the Halflings' movement phases, the Halflings may suddenly appear on the battlefield. And they can appear no closer than 9 inches from the enemy models. And when they do appear, that's the move for that movement phase for the Rangers. The keywords: Order, Halfling, Free People, and Halfling Rangers. Now, last but not least, the Housewives. The Housewives are a bunch of heavy hitters. A unit of Housewives have 5 or more models. They are equipped with kitchen equipment, rolling pins, ladles, frying pans, and other things. They have a 5-inch move, a 5+ save, bravery 5, and 1 wound. They can be equipped with hot flying frying pans, 8-inch range, 1 attack, 5+ to hit, 4+ to wound, and 1 damage. That's their missile weapons. The melee weapons: kitchen equipment, 1 inch, 1 attack, 4+ to hit, 4+ to wound, no rend, and 1 damage. The command group. The matron is the leader of the unit, and the matron may make 2 attacks instead of 1 with melee weapons. The standard bearer will give the unit 1+ bravery, and the musician will give the unit the ability to run and then charge. And also the unit becomes more alert to incoming flying objects, and they will give 4+ save against missile attacks. The abilities: they have the Short and Nimble ability. Furthermore, they have the Women's Wrath. And the Halfling Housewives, they are subject to hysteria if any male Halfling die within 8 inches of them. And the unit may make double the amount of attacks for the next 2 combat phases. The washing line ability. At the start of the combat phase, roll a d6. On a 4+, the housewife's laundry have gotten some nasty smudges on them during the fighting. This will give the housewives the ability to re-roll all fail to hit rolls until your next hero phase. But on the roll of 6, the unit may also re-roll all to wound as well until your next hero phase. The keywords: order, halfling, free people, and housewives.
So, this was the 10.1 0.2 version of the Halfling Warscrolls. We have played a couple of games with them against different enemies, and we think this version works out quite well. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want more videos like this, and follow us at Twitter at Halfling Project. And if you want these Warscrolls that we have presented in this video, go to thehalflingproject.blogspot.com.